Hey guys, for this video, now what I kind of want to discuss is, DC characters that would be great candidates for somebody like Galactus, kind of being his new heralds for the DC universe. Who would I pick? Why I think they would be great candidates. For the first selection, I'm going to pick somebody like Superman. Obviously, I know due to his past, I believe that he was, picked as a herald of Galactus before in the old Fantastic Four comic book crossover. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he's been a herald before. I'm still going to choose him anyway. I kind of, obviously I like Superman. He's very powerful. He's basically the strongest member of the Justice League, arguably. I think somebody like Superman, not even really counting his strength. I also like the fact that somebody like him, if he were to be chosen as a Herald of Galactus, maybe he could try to use his newly founded cosmic power to find uninhabited worlds, much like the Silver Surfer would try to do, and kind of try to circumvent and kind of work around the cosmic hunger that is Galactus. Try to find vacant uninhabited worlds for him to feed on, so he isn't just endlessly just consuming all life in the universe. Another candidate I kind of want to address is somebody like Wonder Woman. I think she's a really interesting candidate, though she isn't obviously cosmic in nature. She is more divine. She is more connected to the Greek pantheon. But I do think due to the fact of her nature being a goddess, the fact that she's known for her civility, her compassion, her overall, empathetic nature. I believe kind of like the same situation with Superman, she would kind of find ways to kind of check Galactus with, with this endless cosmic hunger. Maybe she would try to do the same thing. I can also see her being more diplomatic, kind of like, having more pushback, having more discussions, based on the morality of the situation of being a herald of Galactus. Much kind of like Silver Surfer, honestly, kind of like, having these more philosophical questions like, is this right? What can we do to kind of circumvent this? How can we work around this? Etc. Another interesting candidate would be someone like Wally West. I know that he obviously isn't cosmic, but due to the fact that he's a speedster, I believe that if he were enhanced or given the power of the power of cosmic, I believe he would essentially become a god like most of these other characters. He would be essentially something similar to the Runner from Marvel Comics. He would basically be just running on stars, just cosmic bodies in general. Probably just running on the light that's being sucked in by a black hole. I mean, he would be honestly everywhere all at once, all around the cosmos. I think he'd be a great candidate for somebody like Galactus. He could just find him endless worlds, endless opportunities, because he would essentially be everywhere all at once. So the sky is basically the limit for somebody like Galactus. I mean, he would never really run out of hunger. He would always have a new scouted planet, something recently discovered by somebody like Wally West. Honestly, probably the best candidate. Honestly, another person that kind of want to address, kind of a weird one, but somebody like Booster Gold. Interestingly enough, I think Booster Gold would be an interesting candidate for somebody like Galactus. Not only due to the fact of the nature of his power being a time traveler, but due to the fact of how Booster Gold kind of works, I believe the fact that he's so well versed in in the timeline, maybe he can kind of due to being enhanced by the power of cosmic, maybe he can have a direct connection to to the bleed or whatever, having being able to open portals in the time stream itself. Not only would he be able to find new planets, but he can find new universes.